You have been assigned to an ongoing project that has several unresolved issues from the risk compliance group's observations. The compliance group plans to conduct a new risk audit next week. You aim to resolve the issues from the previous audit before this new one. This issue has been escalated to the sponsor who wants to know the frequency of planned risk audit for the project, where you can find this information. So though the question is presenting many players and characters here, one is that there is a compliance group. The another is there is a conflict between compliance group and you about the risk audit date. Then it seems to be the issue has been escalated to a sponsor, maybe by the compliance group. So escalation is here. And then finally, the sponsor is asking, what is your frequency of risk audit? So the major thing I need to find out, the place where I can find out information related to risk audit. So sometime in the PMP exam, you get such kind of questions where there are many players and characters in the question, but the question is pretty simple and straightforward. So I believe this question is pretty simple and straightforward. It is just asking, where can you find the frequency of risk audit? Simple. Option A, consult with the compliance group about the past audit to drive the frequency. So as a project manager, PMP exam, we know that I should go with the proper information rather than I am just finding information based on consultation and feedback. Yes, I am a new project manager, but I need to have some systematic approach to find out what is the frequency of risk audit rather than just asking the compliance group. Study the risk register to find out the last review dates. Option B. Yes, risk register is expected to have review dates. That's most likely to be there, but not necessarily all risks get reviewed when you are doing risk audit. So, or the risk may get reviewed more frequently than doing the risk audit. So not necessarily you get a clear information about risk audit by looking at a risk register. Risk register is a place where you record the risk, and whenever you update them, you probably update that information as well, last review date and something like that, but not necessarily directly match with the risk audit. Option C, review the communication management plan for the frequency of a risk report. So communication management plan is expected to contain the details about various risk communication you make, probably a weekly report, monthly reports, and the reports which all includes risk should be there, or the finding of risk audit get communicated to whom, at what frequency, that information can also be found in a communication management plan, but not necessarily the frequency of risk audit. That's the challenge. Option D, examine the risk management plan for this information. Perfect, yeah. So risk audit, the approach for risk audit, the approach to improve your risk management process, and who does it, how frequently it has to be done. It's all about risk management plan. So you actually need to look at a risk management plan as a new project manager, and then accordingly you should talk to your compliance group. And if you want to change that risk management plan, then you need to approach accordingly. Yeah? You can definitely change and propose something. Tailoring is always possible, but you need to start with your risk management plan. So in this particular question, we were focusing on simple ECO task 3, assess and manage risk. Though the question was briefly talking about conflicts and escalation and all, but question was pretty much clear about, do you know how to manage risk and where to record information related to risk audit. The term we explored risk register topic. So yes, risk register is a place where you put all the risks so that they can be managed, tracked, and mitigated as you work in your project. So that's one artifact or a document you use. Risk audit is a event or an activity which helps you in improving your risk management processes. It's more about checking the effectiveness of risk management practices. It can be done by project team, but usually the audits can be done by the compliance groups as well. So in this particular question, the risk audit was clearly done by the compliance group. Yeah, so we can say that. Risk management plan is a plan, which is a one type of artifact, which gives you the information about the various things or approaches which guides your risk management processes, like how do you identify risk, what kind of categories you should use, how do you prioritize risk, when should you do escalation of the risk, what kind of frequency, at what frequency you should do risk audit, what kind of reports you should prepare out of risk. So overall approach of risk management is guided by risk management plan.